Hello, crafty friends. Welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Melissa Miller. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southern California. And today I wanted to make a thank you card using the Free as a Bird stamp set. Now this stamp set has quite a few really nice sentiments on there. And we've got our branch with the birds, which is what we'll be using today, along with a thank you. But you've also got your friendship means the world to me. The world needs more of you. We're the best of friends. And then you've got a larger bird, some flowers, and a couple leaves on here. And you can find this, let me put that away. You can find this on page 83 of the annual catalog. Now this stamp set has been around for a while and you can still get it until April if you don't already have it. But before we get started, I wanted to talk about our new mini catalog that is starting in January. I believe it's January 3rd. I cannot open the catalog for you yet, but there's a lot of really neat stuff in here. And for my next video, I will be making something out of the new catalog. And we also have a celebration starting from January 4th until February 28th, which means for every $50 you spend, you can get a free item. And there's some really neat stuff in there too. But let's go ahead and get started with our card today. So I've got everything all prepped. We will be using the Stamparatus and our embossing powder. I'm stamping in soft suede. Now, I found out a couple videos ago that if you do work quickly enough, you don't have to use your Versamark. You can use our ink pad, our stamp pads here. So I've got a new stamp pad here. This is a really juicy one, and that's what's going to work best. So we're going to stamp this up. I've already got it positioned where I want it, and I'm actually going to stamp it twice, just so I get good ink on there. I want the ink to kind of stay wet so the embossing powder will stick to it. And I just love this little trick. If you work quick enough, that way you save a step. You don't have to stamp in your ink color and then use your Versamark over it. So I'm just going to do that really quick. We're going to bring in our embossing powder. I don't want to spill it. I did that earlier. Lost half of my container here. That was not fun. And there you go. You can see that. If you get your embossing powder on there quick enough, you can save that step. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss that. Now I just love to heat emboss my images. And you can see you get that raised outline of your image there. And I just love that. So let me put my powder back in here and get this out of the way so I don't spill it again. Now, when you heat emboss, it is best to start out with a really hot heat gun. So turn that on before you start heat embossing and let that get nice and warm. That way you get a good image and it reduces the risk of warping your paper. So I did set this up in my Stamparatus because I'm doing multiples. I already got a whole bunch prepped. I think I did like 10 or 12 here because I am in need of thank you cards. So let's get that out of the way, close this, and then we're going to bring in our blends. And I did heat emboss that with soft suede and my clear embossing powder. So we've got our image here. Let's bring in our blends. I've got dark cinnamon cider, dark soft suede. For the little beak on the bird, I've got my light pumpkin pie. For my flowers, I've got light daffodil delight and dark daffodil delight. For my leaves, I've got light mossy meadow. Always have your colorless blender handy in case you do go out of the lines. And then for my bird, I've got light night of navy and light balmy blue. But we are going to go ahead and start with our branch first. So for my branch, I took my dark soft suede And I just colored that in, nothing fancy. I am not super big on coloring because I don't want to go out of the lines. My OCD, if I go out of the lines, it's like I want to start all over. But that's the nice thing with the blends too, because you can kind of push that ink back where it's supposed to be if it does go out of the lines. So we're just going to color that in. And then I took my dark cinnamon cider and went over it because it gave it more of a deeper brown. So we'll just get that colored. And I just wanted to mention, if you don't already have a demonstrator, if you need a catalog or have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can send me an email to the link in the description below. Okay, so now let's do our flowers. I did my flowers in the lightest color first, my light Daffodil Delight. And I'm just going to color those in. Nothing fancy here. And this card came together so quick. I am running out of thank you cards, and I wanted to do something that was really easy and use a stamp set that most people might already have since it has been around for a while. So then I'm just going to take my dark Daffodil Delight and not really shade, but just go over the light daffodil a little bit just to give it a two-tone effect. Just like that. Really, really quick. And you can see how that's already coming together. Now I will take my light Mossy Meadow and we're just going to color in those leaves. And this stamp set is great for multiples. I am going to finish coloring all my other panels here after I'm done with this video, and I know that I'll have 10 to 12 cards this evening, all ready to go. Oops, it looks like I forgot one of the flowers. So that's how I did the leaves. I just colored them in, no shading or anything. I kind of want to do that other flower I missed a little bit real quick. First with the light, and then with the dark. And then for my birds. So the birds are two-tone. I used my darkest color first, which is my light Night of Navy. And I'm just going to color in his tail and then the top of his head. And then I'm just going to kind of follow around his body where the lines already are. I'm going to do his little wing there, then come up in here where there's already the shading lines, and just go around, just like that. Then I'll come in with my light Balmy Blue, and I'm not going to do anything fancy here. Actually, I want to use the other end. I am just going to kind of move that ink around because I don't want it to be such a harsh line. So when you just go in swirls over that area, it just blends it in and makes it look more natural, like more of a natural flow of color. And then for the beak, I took my light Pumpkin Pie and I just colored that in just like that. Perfect. And I don't want to bore you with coloring the rest of it, so I've already got one that I've done, but I just wanted to show you how I did do the birds and the leaves and the branch. So we've got our base already colored here. And so what I want to do now is I want to add my frame. I took my stitched rectangle dies, and I took the second and third largest dies, and I taped them together, painter's tape. And I just placed them how I wanted nestled. And then I went ahead and I cut the frame out. So I've got a little frame. Now I don't know if I want to do the brown or if I want to do the Misty Moonlight frame on this one. You know what? I really do like the brown on there. It just makes everything stand out so well. So let's do the brown. And I did a little jig. I took a piece of paper the same size as my panel here, and I cut it out. So that way I can place my frame in there and it will be perfect. Nice and centered. So I'm just going to take some glue. We're just going to do a thin line of glue all the way around the edges here. There we go. Thin line of glue. And then we can pick this up. We can get that on there. Perfect. I do jigs for a lot of things just because it makes it a little bit easier. See, then we can place that in there and we know it will be perfectly centered around our birds. Just like that. And then we can hold down the frame, peel off our jig, and we're good to go. Perfect. And if you do get little hairs on your paper from die cutting it, you can take your eraser and just rub the edges and they'll come right off. Perfect. So now that's all ready. I've got my card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base, standard size, but I do want to trim this just a little bit. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I'm just going to cut about 1/4 inch all the way around. That way when I place it on my card base, we've got the nice edge on there. There we go. Just like that. Oh, I made that one a little small. Okay, so let's trim a little bit more off of here. Just give it a nice border. There we go. One more. Perfect. Now we've got a nice border around that. And we can go ahead and place it on our card front. Isn't that pretty? And it was so easy. But you know what? I forgot my dimensionals. Let me grab those real quick. Okay, so I'm back with my dimensionals. I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. And you can see where our alcohol ink bled a little bit through the back of the paper, but that's okay because nobody will ever see it. Get some dimension on there. And I want to say thank you to everyone. I looked this morning and I had 302 subscribers. I am very excited about that. Thank you everybody for subscribing and liking my videos and commenting. Please be sure to continue doing that. That really helps grow my channel. So here, let's put our panel on our card front. Perfect. And that is so pretty. I just love how that blue really stands out. So now let's decorate it a little bit. I've taken my basic pearls and I went ahead and I colored some with my light Night of Navy. So let's get those added on there. We'll just put 3. I think 3 is good. Just get them scattered though. You kind of wanted them in like a triangle almost. Oops, lost that one. There we go. So I think if we put this one over here, that ought to be good. And there we go. There's our card. It is all finished. Isn't that cute? Now on this one, this is the one I showed you in the beginning of the video. I wanted it to be, you know, have a little bit more dimension behind it. So I tried taking a blender brush and adding some shading behind it, and I didn't like that. To me, it just made it look dirty. So I didn't do that on the other ones. But on this one, I used my cinnamon cider and my light crumb cake to color the birds. And I used my Highland Heather blenders for the flowers. Did the same thing with the pearls, just colored those. And then I also tried another in a kind of an orangish color. Not my favorite, but it's still very cute. But I wanted to show it to you so you would know that you can use all different colors. You can use any color that you have handy, and it'll come out looking really nice. So thank you for watching. I just wanted to pop on here real quick and do a short video. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.